Hello everyone, hope you're all safe and stays healthy. Today I'm going to discuss some of the basic concepts of organic chemistry in this video. This is just a brief outline of the topics in your syllabus because I don't think it's possible to give you a detailed lecture of a full module in a single video. So I just simply compiled the notes that I prepare for you in this video, and you can download the PDF version of the slides, which is also attached if you want to use as notes. So, what is organic chemistry? So, first of all, we should understand what are organic compounds. In ancient days, people believed that organic compounds cannot be synthesized at laboratory. They can either directly or indirectly isolate from the living organisms such as animals and plants, etc. But later, many theories were came up, many experiments were conducted, and finally, by 1828, a scientist who synthesized urea by heating an inorganic substance like ammonium cyanide. And from there onwards, another definition for organic compounds were came up, which is compounds containing carbon, hydrogen, and with one or more additional elements like nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, phosphorus, etc. And in Earth now, more than 5 million carbon compounds were known. And that is just because of the uniqueness or a unique nature of carbon, and which can be evident from the following properties. The first one is catenation, that is the property of carbon to self-link with the other atoms to make covalent bonds, and it can be of different size, chain, shape, or branch, like etc. And that is due to the small size of carbon and its carbon-carbon strength and electronic configuration, etc. And another property is electronegativity and strength of bonds. And we know that electronegativity of carbon is 2.5, and which is almost close to that of other elements like hydrogen, nitrogen, fluorine, etc., so that it can make a strong bonds. For nitrogen, its electronegativity is around 3, and for hydrogen, it is around 2.1, and for phosphorus, it is around 2.1, and for chlorine, it is for 3, etc. So you can see that it is almost or more or less closer to the carbon, which is 2.5, and hence it can make strong bonds with these elements. And another one is tendency to form multiple bonds. Due to the small size of carbon, it can make a double bond, triple bond, etc. I mean, that means multiple bonds with other atoms. That the example is ethylene, CH2, double bond CH2, acetylene, CH, triple bond CH, etc. Another one is isomerism, and we will discuss about isomerism later on. These organic compounds are arranged in a particular order, and the group of structurally similar compounds are arranged with that particular order is known as homologous series. And any two consecutive members of this series differ by a CH2 group. And we can see different properties of these compounds in that particular homologous series. For example, CH4, C2H6, C3H8, C4H10, C5H12, and all of these compounds differ by a group like CH2. And they can be represented by a general formula CnH2n plus 2, where n is the number of carbon atoms. They should have some common characteristics, and these compounds should have same chemical properties, and they should show a regular increase in their physical properties, etc. And most of the compounds will have a general method of preparations. Next is, let's see how do we name organic compounds. As per the IUPAC nomenclature, that is International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, they published certain rules for naming the organic molecules, and that is known as IUPAC system of nomenclature. Here we can see some example. Alkyl halides, where alkyl group is represented by Rex, where R stands for the alkane and X for halogen. So as per IUPAC nomenclature, alkyl halide is named as like just see this example CH3Cl, where that halogen should come in the first of that alkane. So CH3Cl chloromethane, C2H5F. Here halogen is fluorine, so fluoroethane, and CH3, CH2, CH2Br. Here you can see if you label this carbon chain from this side 1, 2, 3. So the bromine is attached to the first carbon. So you will put that position as well. So 1 bromopropane. Here you can see bromine is in the second carbon. 1, 2, 3. So bromine is in the second carbon, and you will name it as 2-bromopropane. And next one, iodine. Iodine is in the first carbon, so iodobutane, and so on. Next is alcohols. Alcohols, the functional group is OH. Then how do you name an alcohol? If you have an alkane which is attached with this OH, then E of this alkane is replaced by OL. For example, CH3OH. That means CH3 methane group and OH is there. So methane, E of methane is replaced by OL. That is methanol, which is a primary alcohol. And C2H5. C2H5 is ethane group. So ethane and E is replaced with OH. So ethanol. And so on. Here again, like I said earlier, if you label this carbon from this side, CH2, 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 that means 1, 2, 3. The OH functional group is attached in the first carbon. So we will name it as 1-propanol. That means OH is situated in the first position. So 1-propanol. And here you can see CH3 twice CHOH. So if you label them, this OH will be in the second carbon. So 2-propanol, and so on. Next is aldehydes. So functional group which represents aldehyde is CHO. So how do you name an organic compound with the CHO? Replacing E of the alkane with al. See the examples. HCHO, methanol. CH3CHO, ethanol. You may wonder why this CHO is attached with this methane group and why you are getting ethanol name. That is just because here, including this CHO group, you can see there are 2 carbon, 1 and 2. So 2 carbon means ethane. So totally you will say it's a aldehyde of ethane like ethanol. It's not like a methanol, so it's ethanol. Here 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon. That means butane. And in the third carbon, 1, 2, 3. So in the third carbon there is a hydroxy group. So 3 hydroxy, and what is the rest of the compound? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbon and butane. So 3 hydroxy. That means this position should come first. Position and the functional group should come first, and then the alkane chain, and then the functional group name. That is 3 hydroxy butanol. See the next example. CH3, CH2, CH, CHO, CH2C. It's a long chain. So you can see that in the second position, 1, 2. In the second position, 2 ethyl. Second carbon, there is ethyl group. And 4 methyl. And in the fourth position, there is another methyl group. and total is 6 carbon hexane 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So total is 6 carbon and there are two attachments, one at the second position and one at the fourth position. So how do we name? It's a 2-ethyl 4-methyl hexanal. Next is ketone. So what is a functional group which represents ketones? It's a CO. So how do you name the molecule? Alkanes E is replaced with on. For example, CH3COCH3. That is, there is 3 carbon, that means propane, and the E of propane is replaced with on, that is propanone. The second one, CH3COCH2CH3, that is 4 carbon are here. 4 carbon means butane and the CO is in the second position. So how do we name? 2-butane-on, that is 2-butanone. Next one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon, that means pentane. And in the third position there is the functional group of CO is located. So how do we name? 3-pentanone. That means 5 carbon and the E is replaced with the on, that is 5-pentanone, and so on.